Welcome back to the Michael Cohen Show on a continued journey to 250,000 subscribers. We're almost there. Almost there, thanks to you. So hit the subscribe button, share with a friend, super important. So I want to talk to you now about that legal drama in the mainstream media where Trump lawyers sued Stephanopoulos and ABC after he interviewed Representative Nancy Mace, arguing that certain statements he made, meaning Stephanopoulos, were false and defamatory. Specifically, what he said about Trump and E. Jean Carroll as it related to New York statutory law on rape. Now, I want to begin by showing you the clip and then getting into it. So play the clip.
I still get judged for it today.
I'm asking you a very simple question.
And I answered it. You're shaming me for my political choices.
I'm asking you a question about why you endorse someone who's been found liable for rape.
It was not a criminal court. This was a civil court. It was a civil court. And by the way, she joked about the judgment and what she was going to do with all that money, and I find that offensive.
I'm asking you about the man
But as a rape victim who's been shamed for years now because of her rape, you're trying to shame me again by asking me this political question.
You've repeated that again.
I think it's offensive. As a woman, I find it offensive. My political choices, I've endorsed the man that I believe is best for our country. It's not Joe Biden.
Yeah, look, she's entitled to like whoever she wants. She knew the questions. I promise you, ABC gave her the topics that they intended to talk about. All right, putting all that aside. On Friday, because they settled this thing. They settled it for $15 million. Now, I want to be clear about something. That settlement is going to be a donation to the future Donald J. Trump Presidential Library Foundation. So let's not feel bad for ABC Disney because they'll take it as a tax write-off, ultimately anyway, as a donation. But before we even get into that, I want to show you on Friday that the judge had ordered that both Trump and Stephanopoulos be available for depositions this week. Hence, of course, how and why the settlement took place. Then on Saturday, again, they settled. Here's an article that I want to show you that actually explains. ABC paid $15 million to settle a defamation suit brought by Trump. The outcome of the lawsuit marks an unusual victory for President-elect Donald J. Trump in his ongoing legal campaign against national news organizations. It goes on to say that ABC News is set to pay $15 million to settle a defamation lawsuit brought by Donald J. Trump. And the agreement was a significant concession by a major news organization. Let's all be clear, ABC Disney is major, and a rare victory for a media-bashing politician whose previous litigation efforts against news outlets have often ended in defeat. Now, again, under the terms of a settlement revealed on Saturday, ABC News will donate, remember what I said before, donate the $15 million to Mr. Trump's future presidential foundation and museum. Now, the network and its star anchor George Stephanopoulos also published a statement saying they regret remarks made about Mr. Trump during a televised interview in March. Go on. ABC News, which is owned by the Walt Disney Company, will pay Mr. Trump an additional $1 million for his legal fees. Now, the outcome is an unusual win for Mr. Trump, who has frequently sued news organizations for defamation and frequently lost, as do most people, including in litigation against CNN, New York Times, and the Washington Post. Continuing, goes on, several experts in media law said they believe that ABC News could have continued to fight, given the high threshold required by the courts for a public figure like Mr. Trump to prove defamation. A plaintiff must not only show that a news outlet published false information, but that it did so knowing that the information was false or with substantial doubts about its accuracy. This is Ronell Anderson Jones, a professor of law at the University of Utah. What we might be seeing here is an attitudinal shift. Compared to the mainstream American press of a decade ago, today's press is far less financially robust, far more politically threatened and exponentially less confident that a given jury will value press freedom rather than embrace a vilification of it. And finally, Mr. Trump sued ABC and Mr. Stephanopoulos in March after the anchor asked Representative Nancy Mace, which you saw the clip, Republican of South Carolina, who has spoken publicly about being raped as a teenager, why she had continued to support Mr. Trump after he was found liable for rape in a 2023 civil case in Manhattan. Now, let me go on and say the following, that many people, many lawyers are saying that the case should have gone on simply because ABC could have and would have been protected by what's called the fair reporting privilege. And that provides several different aspects to it. One, that the source is an official public document or statement by a public official on a matter of public concern. And Donald Trump's case with E. Jean Carroll certainly falls within that qualification. Number two, that the information is properly attributed to that source. Well, they were, of course, sourcing it to the judge in the E. Jean Carroll case. And then finally, that the report fairly and accurately portrays the information from the document or statement. That one is the one that's kind of iffy. However, let's be very clear about something, and we should not lose sight. ABC, of course, is controlled and owned by Disney Corp, which, as you all know, is a major multinational mega-billion-dollar institution. Do they really want to fight with the president-elect of the United States when they already know that he has made many statements that he intends to go after the fake news, and he has been brutal to George Stephanopoulos over the last few years, even referring him as to, how did he refer to him, as like Stephanopoulos or Slopadopoulos, something like that. Obviously, not the most dignified way to refer to George Stephanopoulos, but not my concern. Now, I want to go on to say that in this specific case, ABC was really simply just reporting what the federal district court had said about the jury's verdict amounting to rape in the general definition as opposed to the New York technical definition. Now, let me say this. That's probably why they decided to ultimately do this. It would have been smart had they, when they were drafting the questions for Nancy Mace, to make it crystal clear that there is a distinction between the definition as opposed to the very limited New York technical definition. Now, the other legal principle here is that Trump, because he is a public figure, would have to show that ABC acted with both malice or reckless disregard for the truth. And I'm not so sure that you would be able to get to that standard. Let's be crystal clear on what the hell is going on here. All right? Donald Trump has made it crystal clear that he intends to go after the fake news media. He has talked about pulling the licenses from stations like ABC, NBC, MSNBC, and so on because of the manner to which he was treated over the course of the last several years. Now, should you not be concerned when you have the president of the United States making those statements? The answer is yeah. Especially when you have to report back to your shareholders, as Disney does. Of course, they're concerned. Now, we don't really know what the full extent of the conversations that took place in this settlement. All we know is that they're going to make a donation, a tax-deductible donation of $15 million to a Trump presidential foundation or to his presidential library. And they're also paying $1 million for his legal fees, which I am certain 100% that his legal fees did not, in this specific case, they didn't even get to depositions, did not even amount to $1 million. So let us be fair and accurate in our reporting. This is a major, major win for Donald Trump and for his team. Say whatever you want about it, why it ended up happening. Everybody is speculating. Those that are Trump supporters saying because Trump was right, ABC, Stephanopoulos was wrong. Of course, detractors are saying because they're afraid and because they're thinking more about their stock price and their company and their shareholders than they are about law. Pick and choose your poison makes no difference, because at the end of the day, it has to be declared as a win for Trump. And you know what? I like the fact, I'll tell you, because I have been defamed almost as much as Donald has, but in many cases by Trump and his people. The bar is so high, as opposed to, say, in Europe, where, for example, there was a case that was brought by the Ukrainian president at the time, Poroshenko, for lies that were promoted against him, claiming that he paid me $400,000 or $500,000 within which to get an extended time period with Trump. I never met the guy, never spoke to the guy, never had anything to do with it. In fact, what they had done is the money they were referring to was paid to a lobbying firm on K Street in Washington, D.C. And so he brought a lawsuit against them in England, knowing again how difficult and impossible our defamation laws are. And he won. So maybe this could be a turnaround, which of course would help people like myself who get defamed, where we are considered public figures. Any way that you slice it, my friends, this is hands down a victory for Trump and his legal team. And as always, thanks for listening. Hey, everyone. First of all, thanks for watching. We're going to be posting daily episodes with reactions and talking about politics. We'll be talking about everything, in fact. So please like and subscribe. Join us on this journey.